Hi and welcome. Today we're going to cover the basic instructions for sharing pictures and creating a story on the internet using the integration of two applications, WordPress and Flickr. Everyone has photos and memories they want to save and share with others around the world, and that's what we will teach you to do. We've built a business around these powerful applications. Now let's show you how to build your own business. So let's get started. First, let's look at a couple of the more popular uses of our approach of using the powerful WordPress publishing system and the easy-to-use Flickr photo sharing application to create a truly integrated story. First, we have a family weblog to look at, and next we're going to look at how an organization uses WordPress. Alright, let's look at what a typical weblog might look like, and this is the Romming family weblog. And you see that our first page is the front page, which gives us a little bit of information about the family. And let's go ahead and look at our blog section. So let's click through on the blog tab, and the blog is really what we're doing here is a weblog, and it's simply a collection of stories or posts that appear in chronological order, with the newest story first. So we see this story is the first snow of the year, and we can scroll down here and we can see perhaps 10 or 15 stories, whatever we set up in our initial blog setup to be the number of stories that display. So along here we have quite a few stories about our family. Let's scroll back up to the top. Now, another way we can look at our stories or posts here is through categories. And over here on our index, we see that we have several categories set up along with subcategories. So we have family, and then we have family members underneath that. Family events is also a category. Holidays, the Karate Club, Northern Arizona. Just the categories are only limited by your imagination. You can have endless categories. So let's go ahead and click into one. We'll click into Dad, and this will actually bring up all the posts or stories that have Dad included in them. So when these posts were first written, we can see the categories were actually assigned to the post or story at that time. So we assigned Dad, the category Dad, but you can also see that it has the category Family. So quite often a post will have more than one category. Another way that we can look for posts or stories is through the archives. And the archives simply list our posts or stories in chronological order. So if we wanted to look at all the posts for November 2007, for instance, we just click on that, and we'll get a listing of all the posts that we wrote in that month. Now in this blog, we actually have our photos integrated with our Flickr photo sharing and archiving application. So let's go ahead and click through on one of our photos here, and we notice we brought up a Flickr account. And from in here we can do several things. We can look at all the different sizes of the pictures. Here's the large size, and we could even download this picture if we'd like to. So we see that Flickr is a very powerful application for sharing and storing our photos on the internet. And in our tutorial we're going to get into how to add tags and descriptions and join groups and all kinds of things we can do with Flickr. But right now we're going to go back to the Romming family weblog, and previously we looked at the blog section, and we defined the blog as a series of posts in chronological order, and posts are simply stories about family members or events. And now we're going to look at pages with WordPress. And our About page is a nice representation of a page, and a page contains more static information. This is information that doesn't really change over time, and they're more representative of a traditional website. Okay, so now what we're going to do is look at another application of a WordPress weblog, and that is about an organization, and in this case we're going to look at a bike club. So this is another type of blog, and this is a blog being used by an organization, in this case a mountain biking club. And some of the differences here, this blog actually comes in on the blog page, and we see that we do have some static pages, WordPress pages up at the top here. So let's scroll down and look at some things. We see the same kind of a format where the stories are in chronological order listed down the page. And let's go ahead and we can drill down into a post here, right where it says read the rest of the entry. We're going to click in that, and from there we can see that we'll go up to the top. We can see that this is the same story, Auburn, January 08, but once we drill down into it, we see that there's more pictures and more text associated with this story than what you could see from the home page. And we can just simply hit the back button and get back to our home page if we want. And down here I wanted to show you that we have 7 responses to the story, and these are basically comments from readers of the blog. And if we go right to the very bottom, we can see we can leave our own comment on the post, and this is a pretty neat way for people to interact with your blog. Okay, we're going to hit the back button, go back to our home page, and then I want to show you some of the things on the right of our blog, and this is called a sidebar. And the first thing we notice is we've got a search box here, and we can put in any search term we want, and it will find the posts that are related to that search term. Another way to look up things is through our categories, and this is the same as the categories that we explored in the family blog. And we can see we have a race category for instance, and then underneath subcategories. And this number to the right of the subcategories is the actual number of posts that are listed underneath that subcategory. So if we clicked into this, we're going to see 12 stories that relate to the tag Corral Hollow. Okay, some of the other things, let's hit the back button and go back to our home page here. And then we're going to scroll down some more on our sidebar. As soon as that happens, here we go. And let's look at some other things here. This box here is what's called a widget in WordPress, and this particular widget allows us to insert some videos into the sidebar. We could click on this and we see a video that comes up on the right here. I'll go ahead and close this. Let's scroll down a little more. This is another feature that we have in the sidebar. We can add in a text box, and in that I put some HTML code to have a weather sticker inserted, and that's the same with this, a text box. Now the blog roll is another feature that we have in our blog, and the blog roll is simply links to external sites, and of course they're related to what the readers of this blog would be interested in. And then we keep scrolling down. We have some subscribe options which use the RSS. That stands for Real Simple Syndication, and some people might want to add this blog to their reader in Yahoo or Google, for instance. And we just have some more links there. And finally, we see we have the archive section, and just like before, we could click on one of these links in the archive section, and I can see all the stories from December 2007, for instance. Okay, well, this is the end of the intro to blogs, and we're going to jump into the tutorials now. So this concludes the introduction to WeDigi. So please close the media player at this point and return to the main menu, and you can launch the first tutorial when you're ready.